Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Casey, and welcome back to the channel. So, the Congress is set to vote, and specifically the Senate, on a new coronavirus stimulus plan as soon as this week. So, what does this mean exactly? Well, Senate Majority Leader McConnell said that the Senate plans to vote on what he calls a targeted coronavirus stimulus bill as soon as this week. Now, he says targeted for a few reasons. One, he did not specify what the relief legislation will include, but did say it will focus on three primary things, one being healthcare, the second being education, and the third being the economy. Now, Democrats have opposed the developing Senate plan as the parties stand divided over how best to provide aid during the pandemic, and we're not entirely sure exactly what's going to happen. But we do know that the Senate does plan on voting on a second coronavirus stimulus bill as early as this week, and that's per the Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Now, in a statement, the Kentucky Republican said that the chambers, they aim to take up what he calls the targeted proposal, and the package is going to allow states to restart what they call the enhanced unemployment insurance, which is the $300 per week through up to late December. It's going to also authorize a second round of the PPP, more specifically known as the Paycheck Protection Program loans for the small businesses, and it's going to create very broad liability protection for companies. Now, in terms of the broad liability, I think that is going to go over to where Mitch McConnell is referring to protection for businesses and so forth from being sued if their employees get coronavirus. Now, I find that a little concerning because if you really think about it, you can't fully protect individual citizens or people from getting the particular virus because you just don't quite know how they're going to get infected. But I found it very interesting that even if a company does not institute or implement very clean cleaning practices or more stringent cleaning practices in their establishment, and if their employees or if their workers get put into a higher risk of getting the infection, that the package is going to absolve and going to protect the businesses from being able to actually get sued. So that's just very concerning that that's going to get put into the package. Now, in addition to what they're trying to vote on, the bill also entails a $105 billion bonus, I guess if you will, towards schools. It's also going to include $16 billion in additional COVID-19 testing, and it's going to include $31 billion towards the development of vaccines and beefing up the strategic national stockpile. Now, in addition to that, they are going to institute some type of child care grants. Now, I don't entirely know what the child care grants are going to entail, but my assumption is that it's going to involve something with providing additional funding for people for actual daycare providing protections and things of that nature. Could also kind of go over into medical bills and coverage. We're not entirely sure about that, but they've just basically stated that's going to be $15 billion in child care. Now, as of right now, a lot of people want to know about the stimulus payments. What is going on with those? Well, up until a few weeks ago, I'll even say last week, the Democrats and the Republicans both stated that they are going to give us a second round of stimulus checks. As a matter of fact, that was the only thing that they did agree on was the stimulus checks. Well, in this particular skinny package that the Senate is set to vote on potentially even this week, a stimulus check is not currently in it. Now, that does not mean that one will not be added to it, or that means that we're not going to receive one. It just means that the package that the Senate is set to vote on, that then will have to go to the House of Representatives to also vote on, they are not putting a stimulus check in that particular package. Now, keep in mind that in order for the bill to get passed and to receive support, it's going to have to garner 60 votes to get through the Senate. Or it's going to have to receive support in the Democratic-held House. Now, in a joint statement on Tuesday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who's the Democrat of New York, they basically said that even if the Republicans do pass this bill this week or sometime next week, that it's going to be dead on arrival, that they are not going to pass this bill. Now, the reason that they're saying they're not going to pass this bill is because they just flat out don't think it's enough. Now, in terms of moving forward and trying to get some kind of idea as to where we are with getting a second stimulus update, approval, this is really going to all come down to the unemployment numbers, and it's going to come down to us getting closer to the election period. I do think that at some point in the next probably month or so, as we get closer to the elections, I do think the Democrats and Republicans are going to do a second stimulus package. Now, I would personally love to see a second round of stimulus. The last time I checked, businesses that did not need money got trillions of dollars. That's with the T, y'all, not a B, a T. And so, the Apples, the IBMs, the Facebooks, the Microsofts, even companies that were like junk bonds and so forth, they just really had low quality investment grade stocks and so forth. They even received government funding. I mean, there was a lot of funding. There was even a lot of talk of companies that the money was distributed so non-discriminatorily towards businesses that there was a lot of business fraud that was taking place. I even saw a story of a guy who was able to take advantage of the PPP program and got made off with over $25 million in fraud. So the government obviously has no issues with giving businesses money, and I think it would be very good if they could pass a little bit more of that down to the American people. So I do think that we are going to see a second stimulus package. Again, I would love to see a second round of stimulus checks. President Trump did come out and say that he would like for Congress to give him approval to reallocate the remaining funds in the existing PPP small business loans that haven't yet been taken advantage of, or that's still kind of sitting in the pool, and reallocate that towards distributing out stimulus checks to Americans. So that would be really great if he would do that. But as of right now, we're just kind of in a wait and see approach. I do think that probably Congress, should say the Senate is going to likely pass the skinny bill that they're currently trying to get voted on this week. But even if they do, it may very well be dead on arrival if it hits the House of Representatives. So guys, that's it. Let's just kind of do a wait and see approach with this. Now, this is the latest. The latest is that we have the Senate that is going to try to vote on this package, and they're going to try to pass it through. I fully expect it to get knocked down and denied even if it does get voted on. And we're going to kind of keep our ears peeled and see if we can get any up-to-date information on the latest stimulus checks that we are still hopefully waiting that they pass and approve. So thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys found this update very valuable. If you did, I highly recommend you guys please make sure that you like the video. This helps out tremendously for the algorithms and helps other people as well who have yet had the pleasure of visiting the channel or know about us get access to the video. And also please make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well. So this is a lot of stimulus update videos. I want to make sure I keep you guys abreast with this. But in addition to that, we also do a lot of financial education videos with credit and investing and banking and brokerage and stock trading and so forth to kind of help better you guys from the financial aspect. So other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you later. Take care and stay safe.